choice here, I promise. Second down and 3. Pickett throws, pass, caught, first down, Deontay Johnson.
And the Colts were able to snuff out that first down run.
Pickett fires, Deontay Johnson a juggle and a first down. Second down and 12. Pickett fires, pass is caught, and he put it in a perfect spot as Pat Freiermuth makes the grab for 10.
And he gets a lot of opportunity at the expense at times for these wide receivers.
Third down and 2. Pass is high and incomplete for Sims. Right. Got it. Ryan steps through and finds a pick. Intercepted by James Pierre. Michael Pittman was backing out of there, and it was Pierre who had the football. Pickett on the move. He's got a first down, and he dives forward near the 25. Went through the reads. Ngakoue gets another. Absolutely untouched coming off the edge.
Been pretty tough sledding for the most part.
Ryan is sacked. Brought down by Edmonds. And Terrell gets his first of the season to bring up fourth down.
Would say the biggest adjustment is the speed of the game, whereas he said it was more the volume of defense he's seen.
Here's the first catch of the game by the fellow rookie George Pickens. And after making a tackler miss, that was facing
some really good things, converted on third down, but it has been a struggle for them for the most part.
Here's a handoff to McFarland, and Anthony McFarland's got a first down for the Steelers. Nice carry of 14 yards. Getting a chance with Jalen Warren. Second and 10, and that was read all the way. Coming up was Rodney McLeod. Right. Deep shot sideline, and catch is made by George Pickens.
We might see more of McFarland before it's all said and done.
Pass is zipped in for a first down to Freiermuth. Third down and 2 officially. A handoff here to McFarland for the first down. There's a maturity and a grit to him that is exciting, and we're seeing some of that first down and goal. As he hands here, Harris, touchdown. Good to see Ryan Kelly back in there at center as they hand to Jonathan Taylor. Here's an idea.
Yeah.
Hand the ball to Jonathan Taylor.
Good things usually happen when you do. Based on what I've seen of this passing attack.
Back to the air as they set up a screen for Taylor. TJ Watt can't bring him down. Taylor picking his way for 9.
To him, if he hasn't already, saying, hey, let's keep this thing on the ground if we can.
Well, it's not. Pass caught by Pittman. Pittman is going to fight for about 10. And they're going to give Indianapolis a first down. That was a great effort. Pressure off the edge. No flag. Ryan throws out of the reach of Mo Alley Cox. 51-yard attempt by McLaughlin, and he has got it.
But for Kenny Pickett, it was really getting used to all the variety of defenses that he's seen.
Late blitz coming. Pickett gets rid of it to McFarland, who makes a catch and a run for a first down. Pickett's at over 80% completing passes. Practice squad, a 4th-round pick in 2020. This one is gunned into Deontay Johnson. A nice throw and catch, and he got 9.
The thing I've liked that I've seen is he's not held the ball back there in the pocket. He's gotten it out.
Here's Snell. Nice run on first down. Takes it inside the 35.
In Fort Worth, really an outstanding job this season.
2nd down and 4 here. Pickett is out. A lot of room in front of him, and he takes off. They're going to mark him with another Pittsburgh first down. For the Steelers, who have won 7 straight overall against the Colts dating back to 2011. Pickett throws. Nice throw and catch. Deontay Johnson, another first down.
At tight end, the top of the screen.
Pickett, end zone. Pickens, one-handed try, incomplete. And that's now 4 scores in 5 possessions for the Steelers. Quick throw, gets another shot at it, and at the 41 he's brought down. Timeout with 3 seconds left.
For the things that they need to talk about.
Somebody put a call into Beyonce. Get her here for halftime. This one's blocked. What a half for the Colts. It was Loudermilk who got through. And check in with Lisa after the kick. And electing to bring it out is Dallas Flowers. Full head of steam. Flowers. No flags. Getting a block. Tripped up and down inside the 20. Exactly what the Colts needed to start the half. Taylor carries. And he carries the pile to the 11.
When you look around the league, that sure is fun to watch play.
Ryan finds a wide open receiver and the catch is made.
It should have been a walk-in.
Here's Taylor. Taylor, touchdown. And thanks to that 89-yard return by Dallas Flowers, the Colts are back in the ball game.
And it was obvious in visiting with Mike Tomlin. He was excited about what he was going to do.
Here's a stop by Indy's defense. Ryan fires and the pass is caught, and fighting for the first down is the rookie Woods.
Beyond 20 yards, and
here's one for Woods and a nice spinning catch for a first down.
If you're wearing a horseshoe on the side of your helmet.
And off to Taylor on first down. Wow, what an effort by 28.
Offside. No.
Ryan over the top for the first down.
Wow. When they're trying to come off and pick up a first down.
Ryan. Mo Alley Cox, flag on the play in the secondary. Back out there for the Colts. 3rd down. Ryan. Woods makes the catch, and he's short of first down yardage, tackled by Watt. And a flag on the play. The kick is good, but if this is on the Steelers, it'll be a first down, and it is.
Wow.
And this will be a first down by penalty.
Outside. Defense number 20. 5-yard penalty. Result for the first down.
Brings up 1st and goal. Taylor dropped it, and Matt Ryan is there. Steelers say they have it. No indication yet. They trust Pickett to throw, and this one is incomplete as it skipped into George Pickens. A 7-game losing streak to the Steelers. In doing so is Ryan. For the rookie Woods, that is, I guess, a catch. The ball came out. Brings up 3rd down and 6. Ryan. He's got Woods. Jelani Woods Sets up first and goal.
He's been good.
Second and goal. Ryan, end zone. Pittman, touchdown Colts.
He's been good.
Second and goal. Ryan, end zone. Pittman, touchdown Colts. Pickett sliding, fires, and the pass is caught over the middle. What a throw and catch, and this time the rookie Pickens hangs on.
Deontay Johnson right down here, one-on-one.
They hand to Snell. Benny Snell, first down inside the 25, and the Steelers are back alive. Pickett, what a throw. Pass is complete to Freiermuth, first and goal. There's Freiermuth. They hand off to Snell. He's got it. Touchdown Pittsburgh, back on top. And the Steelers will go for two. Pickett in trouble. End zone and caught in the back of the end zone for two. George Pickens. 7-point game.
He's over on the sidelines.
Second and 9. Ryan pulls it down. And down he goes. Brought down by Mollett. Hand off to Watt, and he spins forward for the first down.
Give a little bit of help. Nope.
Pickett looked that way. Flag on the play, and Pickett is sacked. Tony Brown gets the sack. Pickett. Snell breaks one tackle. Can't break that. Fourth down.
They had a 16-play drive earlier on the drive that they fumbled. But can they play that style? Here it is, deep.
Here's a shot for Pittman, and up to grab it. Good, strong, contested catch. And a flag is down in the secondary. 3 timeouts for the Colts, down by 7. This one is fit in. Jelani Woods.
Done some good things as a rookie as well, but no impact tonight.
Here's one over the middle, and Pittman hangs on and survives the hit by Fitzpatrick. This one's tipped and complete. We'll see where they put it down. Looks to be enough as Michael Pittman Jr. made the grab after the tip, first down. On first down, Ryan is in trouble and sacked. Brought down by Highsmith. The ball came out, and we are down to 1 minute left. Second and 17, and Ryan right up the gut. Dives short of the first down, and they have got to take a timeout here, I would imagine. They hand off, they don't get it. Play made by Highsmith. It's fourth down. Low snap. Ryan lets it go, and this one is broken up. No flags. Steelers will take over.
Now, I think it's not pass interference, and I don't think it's a late hit on a defenseless player either.
No flag flew, and this is a nice win for the rookie quarterback as his maturation and growth continues, Kenny Pickett.